Row 4, James Dutton, Joey Lambden and Josh Harvey. Row 5, there's a gap in the middle where Jack Muir would have been. So Addy Behal and Paul Bloomfield on the outside and inside of row 5. Green flag at the back. This will be the 12-lap race for Dart Motorsport MRO 600s. Red lights are on. Out they go.
Oh, Hurst has got the jump there, surely at the start. I'll tell you what, though, he's going to get a challenge down the inside there from, who was that third one?
That's
Pallet, wasn't it?
Pallet. Yep, Matt Pallet. He takes the running ahead of Sam Hurst and Henry Ross. Then it is Zach Weston and AJ. That is your top 5 as they run through the dip and up towards Druids. But Sam Hurst, he got that Kawasaki off the line very well, didn't he?
He did indeed, and he looks at the inside pass there, can't quite do it. In fact, he compromises his exit just a little bit. AJ trying to go to the higher line. I think AJ could get the drive on Zach Weston coming out of Graham Hill there, but we'll wait and see what happens there. Henry Ross is in third, which I have to say at the moment is an uncharacteristically low position. Sounds ridiculous to say that somebody seems low down in third place, but we're so used to seeing Henry lead pretty much every single race so far this weekend, as out the front is absolutely going for it. Matt Pallet wants to show why he's been at the sharp end of this championship for most years. He comes across the line ahead of Hurst and Henry up the inside. No, he can't quite do it. The Northern youngster is holding on the Team Valley 91. Zach Weston going with him. Already these top 4 are starting to drop AJ just a little bit. He must have had a wobble somewhere. Let's see if he can recoup and get that back as the leaders come down the hill already. And any changes at all? Nope, nobody's getting too brave on the brakes. They're pretty much line and stern all the way down the hill. In fact, nobody getting too carried away whatsoever. So we go up towards Surtees for the first time. Be interesting to see the sort of times we get. What a surprise. That's AJ, who's the fastest in the first sector. I told you he's dropping back just a little bit. I think he must have had a wobble, but he's regrouped very quickly indeed. Hooks it up very nicely in the first sector.
Henry Ross and Sam Hurst side by side, but Henry Ross just squeezes his way through into second position. Sam Hurst won't take that line down. He looks for the inside pass at Paddock Hill Bend. Doesn't make it through this time around. Zach Weston right there in 4th position, number 135. His first season on that Yamaha R6. Of course, let's not forget, Keith, earlier on this season, Zach Weston had to get special dispensation to ride the R6 on the Saturday.
Of course he did. You're right. That's it. Get the special license from the ACU. Seems kind of ridiculous now, just given how quick this kid is. Top 5 were covered by less than a second over the line, 0.787. Very Boeing affiliated number there. 48.627 was the opening bid as far as the lap time goes.
190 Glenn Walsh in the pits, unfortunately. He retired from the race earlier on today, and he's retiring out of this one as well.
Leaders onto the front straight here at Brands Hatch. They come over Clark Curve. And over the line they go, and I tell you what, Henry Ross is looking challenging. He's gone quicker than Matt Pallet there across the lap. They're only by a couple of tenths of a second, or about just over a tenth of a second. So little between these two as they go up towards Druids once again. And Ross is trying to find that way. He's looking for a little bit of a chink in the armour of the leader, who is doing a brilliant job in front. Here comes a challenge then down the inside. No, thinks better of it, decides to cut back, see if he can get it on the exit. But again, he's compromised his exit. We've seen that in other riders as well. You compromise your exit. We're only talking fractions of a second here, but over the line at there, he's lost about a tenth of a second to his rival. That's the kind of difference between winning and losing. Though interestingly, we've got a 48. It's Henry Ross, the fastest first sector time. No, sorry, Johnson, AJ, quickest in the first sector there. Once again, as they come across the line, he's still playing catch up. We are talking fractions of a second here. There is absolutely nothing remarkable. 48.545 is the fastest on that lap. That was Zach Weston this particular time. Again, it's swapping backwards and forwards by fractions of a second as these 5 all try to outsmart each other. A little bit further behind them then, we do have Joey Lambden leading the way ahead of Kai Dickinson. And then it's Cunningham. Reese Forrest leads the way in the Clubbins. Then it's Anderson and Bloomfield, the rest of the Clubbins, with the B Hall in the top 10.
Reese Forrest wants that Clubman victory as well. You can see the tyre sticker still on the front tyre. So putting in a fresh one for this final race of the weekend for the Dart Motorsport MRO 600s. But back around Clearways onto Clark Curve. And AJ there's just lost a little bit of time on this lap, hasn't he? Because going purple is Sam Hurst. But Henry Ross in the slipstream of Matt Pallet. Across the line they go. Henry Ross moves to the inside of Matt Pallet and takes the race lead.
And this has allowed Sam Hurst to get right with him with that little manoeuvre, costing both just a fraction of a little bit of time. And obviously Hurst is keen to build on that timing. He does a 48.289 ahead of him. Ross does a 48.286. So there's absolutely thousands of a second between these guys that come down the hill once more. You're right about AJ. He's just dropping off the back of this. It's a great shame. He don't think he's going to play any real part in the park of what happens as they make their way through Surtees. We don't see anybody going purple. but we do see a PB for Henry Ross, so that's going to be very, very close to the ultimate time in that first sector.
300ths away.
Yeah, I thought it'd be something very close to the team. Well spotted, mate. Over the line then, and Matt Pallett leads once again. And I tell you what, Matt Pallett is gone from having a .015 gap to having a .446, and it's not that anybody else has gone that slow. He's gone that quick, a 48.185 with the green and the purple to back those up. So that shows the pace that Ross is capable of now. He's hit the front. He really wants to get away. He knows how tight the challenge is behind him, doesn't he, Brad?
Yeah, he's trying to stretch him out here. Look at me on the brakes, and he misses the apex at Graham Hill Bend, though. That'll cost him a few tenths. That'll cost him a few tenths. Onto the bottom straight now. AJ again just losing a few tenths on that lap. He's 1.5 seconds adrift, so nobody doing anything very special in that first sector. Second, third and fourth, around about 3/10 of a second away from the purple sector one. But round clearways onto Clark Curve once again, feeding the power up through the gearbox, and they're coming back towards us, 140, 150 miles an hour as they hit the brakes in towards Paddock Hill Bend. The gap at the front, 0.4 of a second between Henry Ross and Matt Pallett. Sam Hurst in third, Zach Weston 3/10 behind in fourth, AJ in fifth position, but 0.9 of a second covering the top four.
This is desperately close racing. We were worried about the 600s, wondering if it's going to be good this year. It's been absolutely sensational ever since the first race at Brands Hatch here, which you'll remember back in March. We were worried about the long format might be turned into a very long, follow the leader kind of boring race. But I tell you what, we could not have been more wrong. The 600s have absolutely turned it on all the way around the year. And that battle going on a little bit further back between, let's see who's involved, Lambert, Cunningham, Dickinson and Forrest. They are all involved in a very close battle. Again, there's less than a second covering those four guys as well as the leaders come across the line. Henry Ross, I don't know what he put on his cornflakes this morning, but whatever it is, it's certainly paying dividends here at Brands Hatch. He now extends his lead to a 4.8 of a second with a 48.286, low 48s every single time. Everybody else in that lap was into the high or mid 48s, which is still flipping quick time at the end of the day. If you want to be in the contention here, you've got to be in the 48s in the top side, the top six. That's how close it is. Well, Ross is extending that lead, so it becomes very much now a battle for the second place between Pallett, Hurst and Weston. We've still got 4 laps left into this race. It'll be 3 at the end of this one, which is pretty much logical. And I do wonder if the back markers might have something to play in this race. Not a lot of back markers, but we are 2/3 of the way into the race, so I think, or 3/4 of the way into the race now, of course. So I do wonder if there might be the odd back marker who has yet to come into the mix. We'll wait and see. Everybody kind of rolling out of it a bit. We're all in the 48.5s there, so they're all pretty much even Stevens. Now all separated by 1.472 seconds. AJ well out of this, nearly 7 seconds back, which is, I have to say, very unusual for AJ. We're not used to saying AJ is in fifth, and I've got to say it's only fifth, which is a remarkably low position for AJ, isn't it?
It's not somewhere we're used to seeing him, is it? When
No.
there's a few teething issues with the setup or the bike on that Daytona 675, it's certainly a little bit different to the Yamaha R6 that he borrowed from Matt Epps and well, raced it for the full season, didn't he? Before he went on to become the 2024 MRO 600 champion. So AJ very much the reigning but outgoing MRO 600 champion as Henry Ross comes across the line now. 2 to go in this race, and it's a 48.116. So we are half a tenth of a second away from the lap record, that 15-year-old lap record set by Paul Young on the full British Supersport Spec Triumph Daytona. That's not too far away, but Keith, you know better than most, it's that final little bit that's the hardest, isn't it?
That's what we've been seeing all the way here today, of course. Unfortunately, those fractions of a second are absolutely making all the difference. The ultimate lap that we've actually seen so far in this race, I've just worked it out, is a 48.092. So that is the, if we put the 2 top sectors, so we still be fractions of a second away from the absolute lap record, which kind of just shows you how hard it is. Just I mean, we're talking about literally blink of an eye stuff to make all the difference as Ross leads over the line once again. Hurst is now 1.1 second back, but he's moved up into second place, sorry. So Matt Pallett has been relegated as the last lap flag now goes out for all these riders.
Well, Matt Pallett trying to outbrake Sam Hurst to go in towards Druids there, but he runs it slightly bit wide there. Sam Hurst holds on to second position. Henry Ross, I think he's got a little bit of breathing room here, holds on to the apex very tightly as they go around Graham Hill Bend. Onto the bottom straight then as Sam Hurst and Matt Pallett fight, and Looks like Zach Weston just trying to find his way through, and one of the tail enders as well. But Henry Ross is only 0.04 away from a purple sector, so he's still pushing on, even on this final lap.
Well, I think he needs to. I don't know if he knows how close the opposition are. I don't know if he knows he's got an advantage of over a second here. Doesn't really matter. What he can see now is the checkered flag. That is another win for Henry Ross. That's his third one of the weekend, which is absolutely amazing stuff. As the Rich waves the checkered flag down there. Matt Pallett does a PB in Sector 2 as he tries to chase down on Sam Hurst, but he misses out by 0.082. So Team Valley 91, they don't go home with the gold medal this weekend, but they do go home with a clutch of medals, and absolutely amazing stuff. Zach Weston does indeed finish in 4th place ahead of AJ, Joey Landon, Kai Dickinson. Cunningham Forrest is the leader. Reese Forrest, that is, who's the leader in the Clubmans. Thank you very much, mate. Beehall, Dutton, Bloomfield, second of the Clubmans. Packham, Elliott, Coombs and Kilworth around at your top 20. So Hayden Kilworth is not taken to the 600 quite as well as he did with the Thunderbike Sports 600, is he, mate?
It's the same.